Take one song, for example, Ila Nila. It can be played starting with C sharp minor or a D, it doesn't matter. C sharp minor to B, for example. Why is this a C sharp minor? Start by understanding why this is an A minor. The next one has to be a A sharp minor, B minor, C minor, etc. This is a D minor. This has to be a C sharp minor. Pattern doesn't change. This is very important. So using the song chords, you are understanding that a pattern, depending on where it is played, will give you a different alphabet chord of the same nature. Meaning this is C sharp minor. Because of the position, it becomes C. Still, it's a minor. If I were to play something like this, for example, this is C7th. The 7th pattern is the chord. Plus 1 C sharp 7th. It cannot be a different kind of chord. Only the alphabet changes. This is what you will have to learn when you're taking one song, getting to the bar chords, trying to play them. While playing the song, learn that the pattern is the chord, and where you play the pattern will give you the particular alphabet name in front of that. Instead, if you're taking like 4 songs, just randomly remember and repeat the same chords again and again, it's not going to give you any in-depth understanding of why they are there. The reason why you want to know the pattern-based method is that gives you some landmarks. From now onwards, okay, this is C sharp minor, simple as that. This is a D minor, this is a A minor. Similarly, if this is a D minor, it is possible to play E minor like this, because this is the exact same D minor position. Instead of playing the open string here, I just substituted, I'm playing the index finger to play the equivalent note here. That is all. Build from open chords, start playing the bar chords. Take one song for fluency. For example, B to C minor. How will you do this? Really get into the underlying mechanics. Usually students are not able to do it so fast like this. See that the index finger is never moving from the fretboard at all. And then the middle finger is free. So you're moving, the middle finger can already be positioned here. And these two come almost like ring and little finger. Okay. Another way of looking at it is priority wise. If we are going to hit downstrokes on the C sharp minor, it is better that, okay, the index finger anyway shouldn't move. It shouldn't be lifted off the fretboard. Just move it, press it again. So 6 and 5 is taken care of. Then probably, see, I'm keeping my ring finger on these 4, 3 and 2 strings. So the tip of the ring finger is already on the 4th string. You can slide that also, and it's just a matter of adding the little finger and the middle finger. Middle finger is already free, so it can be in position. See how we can optimize the micro movements, because this is what happens when you get better at chords. Whether somebody is conscious or not, they just get faster with these changes. See, here I'm moving, not lifting the 4th finger. I need to prepare, even the little finger I need to prepare. Ideally, I should keep it closer to the string. Coming. This is good. So minimum movement, minimum lifts, using the common fingers, giving priority to the fingers which should be pressed first based on if you're doing a downstroke, which is usually the case. Like this, if you can take one song, analyze it, start from the open chords, understand where you're playing, how you can use that same patterns to play the bar chords, then go to the underlying mechanics, which fingers, why, minimum movement, common fingers, giving the priority of strings. One song, instead of just remember and repeat, you have learned possible landmarks, how you can use the underlying mechanics to be more efficient with the changes, really keenly looking at it, open to bar chord changes, knowing that they are not really different, just index finger is substituting the nut. The added advantage is instead of randomly playing some chord progressions, at the end you have the song to play.